Hi there and welcome to Japan, where today I'm going to be playing a bit of a game that hopefully you guys will also be able to play. Join in and give your answers to this big question in the comments below. Now this game, as you've probably noticed from the thumbnail, is one where I'm trying to pick the perfect dream band. It's a game that actually I played a lot with musician friends and people I've worked with in music before. And you might think, well actually that's quite easy, just pick all the people you like and throw them in. But there are 3 important rules that guide this game to stop you going too crazy and to make you think about it. Rule number 1 is 1 member per band. So you're poaching your members from established, well-known bands who, or maybe not so well-known bands, but established bands nonetheless, and you can only take 1 from each, which means if you really like one band and you just want to make them your dream band and take all of their members, sorry, you have to decide which member you're taking because you're only taking 1. Rule number 2, 1 dedicated member per instrument in your band. So you can have 1 drummer, 1 bassist. You can have 2 guitarists if one is a lead and one is a rhythm guitarist, 1 vocalist, and 1 person on whichever other instruments you want to have in your band. So you can make it quite a diverse sound if you want, but only 1 person per instrument, lead and rhythm allowed. Now, rule number 3, this is the one that trips a lot of people up. This is the big one. All members have to be from an established, like I say, instrument playing band. So if you want to take your singer from idol group or a member of AKB or a famous solo singer or something like that, sorry, you can't do it. It has to be a singer from a band, and as you guys are probably working out right now, that means no baby metal. I know you Ian Moore played guitar that one time with Rob Halford, but no, I'm afraid there's no baby metal. And also you can't take members from a backing band who are not an independent band in their own right. So if someone's thinking, oh, I'm going to go and take someone from Kami Band, I'm afraid you also can't do that unless someone wants to tell me that Kami Band have their own albums and singles and I didn't know about it, in which case that's fine. But as far as I'm aware, you can't do that. So anyway, to start this game off, I'm going to pick my first member by addressing the elephant in the room. The elephant, of course, being band-maid. Now, as anyone who's been following this channel or anyone who knows anything about Japanese music will probably know, band-maid could probably pretty much be the answer to this question for a lot of people anyway. Almost every single one of their members would be a perfect addition to any band. They've got a rhythm guitarist who's 100% solid and provides great backing vocals. And that's one other thing, by the way. I know I said 1 member per role, but if you've got someone who can double up and do another thing, that's fine as long as their primary instrument doesn't conflict with anyone else's. And so, they've got a great rhythm guitarist, they've got a great lead singer, they've got a great bassist, a great lead guitarist, a great drummer, but who am I going to pick from this group? Well, I kind of was trying to find who's the most unique person, who's the most irreplaceable person in the context of this game, and I was bringing it down to Misa and Akane, bass and drums, because the rhythm section of Band-Maid is so amazing, and those are 2 roles that in a lot of bands you don't get the best members. So I was thinking bass or drums and bass and drums, and eventually I made up my mind by going for okay, so I'm guessing no one's really that surprised that I went for Akane. I've always spoken about how great she is. I think that she's a really unique drummer in that she's so talented, but what she does is often very restrained. She's great at picking the bits of songs and really highlighting the right parts and being able to just fall into the groove when necessary. She seems to be able to play in a range of different styles. I mean, I would openly say that although in my mind, I know this is a contentious point, I would probably say the greatest drummer alive in the world right now is still Travis Barker, in my opinion. I do think that considering how much younger she is and how much she's managed to show, I think Akane is set to be one of the greatest drummers of all time. I mean, she's simply fantastic, and like I say, her great quality is that she's not just brilliant at her instrument, but she's brilliant at being a member of a band. So anyway, that brings us on to our next member, which I filched from another band who is full of really great instrumentalists, but maybe a little bit less, shall we say, praised. They don't get the credit they often deserve. And that was when I was looking for my keyboard player. Yes, I want a keyboard player because I want this band to be able to do pop as much as they do rock, and keyboard can work in anything. It's literally a sound where you can press buttons and make it into other sounds. It's a fantastic thing that I think every really, really good band should have. And so I decided to take my keyboard player from Silent Siren. Yeah, my keyboard player is Yukako Kurosaka, I think I'm pronouncing her name right, is just a fantastic keyboard player. If you listen to what she's doing, which is often sort of held towards the back of the songs, again she has a quality which is similar to what Akane does on drums. She is very technically capable, but she picks the sounds perfectly for each song. She knows how to complement a song. She knows how to get the most out of a different style. Like a ballad, she fits it perfectly. When it comes to a heavier song, she knows how to fall into the gaps and accent the right bits. And like I say, for a keyboard player, it is important to choose your sounds as much as how you play, and she just seems to get the right sounds out of every song. I think that she's got a wonderful style, and she's someone who really thickens up the whole sound of the band. I think for her, in Silent Siren, she has this role of really giving them an identity, and she does that. She gives their sound an identity that if you took her away, they probably wouldn't have as much. They'd probably fall into being another one of the sort of female rock groups, of which Japan has many brilliant ones. You know, like I say, Band-Maid, Scandal. I know they're all kind of different, but Silent Siren's identity is very much in part, but very much down to her, and I think she'd be a fantastic member of the band, and this is not just because I have some crush on her. So now might be a good time to pick a guitarist. And guitar is a big subject. How do you pick the guitarist for your band? Even if you're going for two or going for one, it's a difficult one to pick. There's so many bands, and almost every band that we can think of has a guitarist in. So most people would probably go for the most technical, brilliant guitarist straight out of the bat. I didn't really want that. For me, the guitar wanted to be more the core of the band, kind of like what Miku does for Band-Maid. Unfortunately, Band-Maid have already given us one member. Sorry, Miku. So I decided to go for someone who'd be able to give a real core to the sound. Someone a little bit left field who you guys probably haven't heard of, but we've mentioned this band a couple of times on the channel before. And my guitarist is... So Yuka from Lazy Guns Brisky. This might seem like a bit of a strange choice, even if you've heard of the band before, but the reason I'm going for her is because of the fact that when you listen to Lazy Guns Brisky's music, she is always able to give a real sort of power and energy to things without complicating or muddying the waters. She does do guitar solos, but the guitar solos she does are really easy to follow, and they add a real energy, real passion, there's a real feeling in her guitar solos. Now it's something where I know a lot of people want to hear some shredding, and you never really hear shredding from her, but to be honest, I'm not too bothered about shredding, especially considering some of the other members you'll see in this final band, including having a keyboard player. I can get the detail out of our songs from other places. Guitar, when it comes in, I just want to have passionate solos, I want to have passionate hard rock, I want to have core energy, and also I want to have a guitarist like her who is able to do different things. She's not always turned up to max. Yeah, that's her basic default style, is like rocking away, but she's done acoustic music with them before really well, and like I say, she's good at doing little different things, experimenting. So I think she's a fantastic addition to the band. If you don't know Lazy Guns Brisky, then definitely check out more of them. If you're into Japanese rock music, you should be listening to them a little bit anyway. But yeah, there we go. That's my guitarist. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of a, shall we say, difficult issue considering my previous choices, which is bass. Now, like I said right from the get-go, the bassist who I probably would automatically go for would be Misa from Band-Maid. I've heard a lot of Band-Maid, and she never lets down. She's just brilliant at what she does, but unfortunately I cannot take her. So, who am I going to go for? Well then, my next pick would probably be going for the bassist from Silent Siren, but I've already taken a member of Silent Siren, so I was left with this one thinking for quite a while. Who am I going to go for? I went through all of the reviews on our channel, trying to remind myself of various bands, thinking who's a really good bassist. A lot of the best bassists I know are actually like session bassists who play like in the backing music for like solo singers. But of course they can't be taken because of the rules of this game. Ugh. And then I suddenly came across a band who we've only reviewed once before on this channel, although they're very famous. And I thought, wait, they had good bass, didn't they? And I went and I checked out some more. And therefore, I actually found a bassist who I'm really happy with. And my choice for bass is... Now, I think Tomomi is a fantastic choice for bass. She's one of those players who's technical enough to really add something to songs, and I do believe that in a sort of a really diverse band, she would be able to really go with any style. She just has the ability. But also, she's in a band who knows how to rock out. So once again, she's got those two qualities. I can imagine her doing everything from funk and pop, as she kind of has done with Scandal before, from little bits I've heard, all the way to the rocky stuff that Scandal are probably more famous for. She's just one of those bassists who I can't imagine her letting you down. So even though I know that she might not be a top on anyone's list, I can't imagine you putting a foot wrong with her in the bass position. So Tomomi is going to be the bass player for my band, which moves me on to the next subject. Now, my band has 6 members in it, so just in case you've been trying to chalk off what's coming next, I should point out, as you've probably already guessed, that there's only one guitarist. But I'm going to talk about who's going to be the singer next, because the choice of singer, while I was playing like band Tetris, trying to get everyone in the right place, actually caused me to pick another instrumentalist. Now, when I was thinking of singers, the singer who to me had like the voice that just, you know, blows me away every time. My favourite band singer who I've really heard is a singer from Wagaki Band, who I think her name's Yuko. Yeah, Yuko. I've got it all written down here. She's a fantastic singer. I literally could just listen to her singing a cappella or anything all day. Her voice is amazing. But I didn't go for her. And there's 2 reasons why I didn't. First of all is because she has a very specific style. Like I say, I want my band to be diverse, and I haven't really seen anything, although she probably can do lots of things, I haven't seen proof of her being able to do different things, and being front and centre like a singer is, I want a singer who can mix it up and do all different types of things. Now, that was one of the reasons, and the other reason is because she's from Wagaki Band, and Wagaki Band have something else that I really, really want to poach. Like I say, I've only got one guitarist, and one of the other sounds that's going to be filling this up is I wanted a Japanese shamisen. So I've taken Benny from Wagaki Band and put her in as my shamisen player. So, with so many of the iconic bands now off of the playing field, and with me having turned down probably my favourite singing voice that I've heard thus far, and with no option to take singers from like the solo fields or from, you know, like girl bands or anything like that, it's probably looking like a rather limited pool. But actually there is one person who really, really, really fits the bill brilliantly, and who I decided to go for. A voice that's almost as good as Yuko from Wagaki Band, and a voice that's been used in different styles, because you're probably already guessing who this is. She's a member of 2 bands anyway, well actually more than 2 bands. She has solo work, she's in a hard rock band, she's in a more poppier band, she does all kinds of experimental music. Yes, you guys already know who I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure. If not, here's the big reveal. My lead singer would be... yes, Fuki. Just what a voice, an amazing voice. Now when she's in that rock context, she really has the power to really bellow it out with a lot of feeling and give just energy to the front of the song. But also, she has the ability to be more restrained. And what we've seen from Doll's Box, I know some people in the comments have said that in Doll's Box her voice just sounds more drawn back and it's not as appealing, but I actually think that shows that she has the power of variation. She has the ability to say, well, this song doesn't demand that everything be delivered up at 11. She can, you have to like tone back her voice to give room for the other instruments. She's just a very diverse singer, and I think that's why she would be perfect at the front of the band. Also, she seems to have like a real stage presence. I know a lot of Japanese female lead singers do actually have great stage presence, but Fuki's one of those people who just seeing her perform is always a very kinetic experience. So I think she would be perfect at the front of this band. Now, just in case you were wondering, I am going to point out as well that I do have a little bit of a trick in my sleeve here, which is that when it comes to the vocals, I can mix it up a little bit, because my keyboard player, if you've ever seen a few Silent Siren videos, can also drop a little bit of, shall we say, comical rap. And you know what? I think that would be kind of nice for lightening up the mood every now and then. So I think this band will be able to have some fun, do some fun, crazy music, some hard music. They'll be able to be as intense as they can be funky. They'll be able to do pop, they'll be able to do rock. And I just think that if you put members like that together, they'll be able to experiment and do all kinds of things. I'm actually quite happy with my band, considering how difficult. It sounds like a really easy thing to do this, but it's actually quite difficult when you consider some of the limitations of those 3 rules. But it really makes you have to think about it. Anyway, you've seen my band. I'm, like I say, really interested to see what your comments are. Have I missed something? Is there something really obvious that I should have added to this band that I didn't? I think 6 members is enough, doesn't muddy the sound too much. Like I say, when it comes for lead work, I don't want to concentrate on guitar shredding. I've got someone who can do good guitar solos, but I can equally have a shamisen solo, or I can have a keyboard solo, which is, you know, an underrated thing. Everyone thinks keyboard solos, they think like sort of synth stuff. It doesn't have to be synth. You know, you can load any sound into a keyboard and really go crazy. So I think this band could be incredibly diverse and do a whole range of things. But I want to know what you think. not just about my band, but your own bands as well. Create a band using these rules if you can, put it in the comments below, and feel free to name your band as well. Give your band a name so we know who they are. Now, when it comes to my band name, there's so many ways of thinking of band names. If you ever work with musicians, there's a million ways you can do it. There's some really funny ways that you can come up with band names, sort of random things you can do to invent them. But I kind of don't have a choice, because if you've been following our live streams, you'll know that you guys have already given me a band name, just sort of a weird band name that was created and that we have absolutely no control over. It was a band name created for virtually nothing. It's just sort of creeped into this channel's lexicon. So I have no choice. This band's name is... at least they'll sound good. That's the most important thing. Well, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to this rather interestingly weird game episode of the Backer Breakdown. As I say, I'm looking forward to seeing all the comments. I try to reply to as many as I can, but at least I will read all of the comments, even if I can't reply to all of them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what ideas you come up with, anything you might have thought of that I might have completely missed. Maybe some bands I haven't even heard of, and I can follow on and do some reactions to their videos based on suggestions that you might give me to this. But all I can really say for now is thank you so much for tuning in as always, and until next time, ciao for now.